Okay.
Everyone cries when a forest burns to the ground.
And everyone cries when a healthy dog's put down.
And everyone cries when a polar bear's found 100 miles inland going through the bins in your town.
But nobody cries. Nobody cries for the monk. We gotta save the monk. Gotta save the monk. We gotta save the monk. We gotta save the monk. For the planet,
cutting down on plastics, fast fashions,
and meat.
We're campaigning for zero carbon emissions.
But no one's campaigning. No one's campaigning to save the monk. We gotta save the monk. Save the monk. We gotta save the monk. We gotta save the monk.
Save the bees and the honey.
Save the trees and their trunks.
Save the ocean.
Save the monk.
Save the bees and the honey.
Save the trees and their trunks.
save the ocean.
Save the world.
Hello, monk spotters. Welcome to another edition of Monkspotting with your hosts. I'm Liam McKenna.
Hello there, and I'm Polly Preston, and I'm on the social media this evening, so be sure to get in touch.
Fantastic. Well, what a show we've got lined up for you today. We have a jam-packed Monkspotting special, the 150th anniversary of the Royal Society for the Protection of Monks. We're happy to be here online, digital, for the foreseeable future. Well, what have we got in store today, Polly?
Well, we've got giant monks,
Giant monks.
bees,
And
we have our live cam set up this evening.
we do have a live cam set up. We're hoping to capture footage of a real-life endangered monk in the wild.
We do indeed.
We've also got a feature on monk nostril hairs. Find out why a monk nostril hair could fetch you a small fortune on the
Yeah.
black market.
And of course, our roving reporter, Rhiannon, is back with us in a small Welsh town.
Yeah, find out where Rhiannon is very shortly. Now, Polly, shall we have a look at our live stream that we set up earlier today?
Absolutely. Let's see what's going
Shall
on.
we? We'll see what's happening out there. This was us earlier today.
You see me there?
So there I am.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Okay, and then what you can see there, this is the angle we've chosen this quite deliberately, haven't we, Polly?
Yeah,
A lot of monks have been spotted in this area.
yeah, and That, I believe, is our plastic gorse bush we've had installed.
That's right. That's right. It's very authentic looking. We had it shipped over from Norway,
and that you can just slip right inside.
That's right. Yeah, you see, it is the perfect monk hide, because we've been trying for a long time to perfect a hide, but the monks they're not fools. So we have had to go to extraordinary lengths to create a bespoke plastic gorse bush where Sebastian is going to be hiding out in there. He's going to be head to toe in camouflage.
He is, yeah. And once you're in that gorse bush and you've sealed the doors, you cannot see anything. So
no, you cannot see anything. From the outside.
From the outside.
Sebastian will be able to see things from the inside, and he'll be keeping in touch with us throughout the day. And
there is our monk sniffer.
That's our monk sniffer, Boris. We sent him out to see if there's any sign of monk activity in the area. He can tell us if a monk's been in the area in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, it looks like he's scanning the area there at the minute.
Yes,
just checking out what's been there recently.
Now he was able to tell us that
he's picked up a scent.
Yeah,
that is good news.
He has told us that a monk has been in the area and has been quite busy. Yeah, you can see that. Now, Boris is he's one of very few monk sniffer dogs in the UK. One of three, in fact. So we're very lucky to have him. Mm-hmm. He can smell a monk from about 5 miles away, and this is the live feed right now that we're seeing. So no monks to report on just yet, but fingers crossed we will see one tonight. Now, we as we said, we have got an action-packed show today, but we also want to hear from our viewers, don't we?
We do indeed.
We love to hear from the monk spotting community because we're very much a family, aren't we? And so we want to hear if you've seen any monks recently. Perhaps you've seen one in your garden, or just walking down the high street, or perhaps you've seen one working in your local coffee shop. We can't rule it out.
No.
So do get in touch. Do get in touch. Let us know if you've seen any monks, and we look forward to hearing from everyone across the monk spotting community in the UK.
Yeah.
And now we're going to head over to the little village of Trefin in West Wales, not far from where we are. Where we're going to be hooking up with Rhiannon, our roving monk reporter, and she's going to be giving us a little history of the village and its relationship to the monks.
Amazing. Here we go.
Over to you, Rhiannon. Rhiannon, can you hear us?
Are you there, Rhiannon?
Are you there, Rhiannon? There's a bit of a delay on the... Rhiannon? Hello?
Hello, Croeso I Cymru, Croeso I Benfro. Yeah, we're coming to you today from the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park for this edition of Monk Spotting on the Road. Now, Pembrokeshire Coast, very famed for its stunning coastline, stunning scenery, but not, you may think, for monks. In fact, you might be asking yourself, what can this rural, isolated community offer us in terms of monk spottings? But actually, this is an excellent area with a very rich monastic history. There's a priory in the village not far from where I'm stood, and many sites of spiritual interest. So come back to me throughout the show and I'll be telling you about some of the fantastic monastic stories we have going on here, including some clandestine beer drinking on the coast path, and my favourite and exceptional story about a mill and some monks who wanted some bread. See you later.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Wonderful to hear from Rhiannon. She'll be filling us in throughout the night, letting us know what it's like over there in Trefin, and if she maybe has spotted any monks.
You never know. You never know.
Fantastic. So we look forward to hearing more from Rhiannon. Now, Polly, a question for you.
Oh yes.
What's the biggest monk you've ever seen?
Biggest monk? Probably a wandering grey.
A wandering grey.
Yeah.
Now, Polly, how tall was that wandering grey?
I would say roughly 5'6".
5'6".
Yeah.
Well, that is quite tall
for a monk.
For a medieval monk, because obviously
they were
about
small.
1,000 years ago they were a lot small. So being 5'6", you would have been a giant in those days. But Polly, what if I told you that there are monks out there that are at least twice the size of that?
No way.
I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
Right here,
Wow.
where we are in Pembrokeshire, there are monks as big as double-decker buses.
Amazing.
Now, I mean, you could probably tell the viewers more about this. Surely your childhood is full of folklore about these giant monks wandering through villages.
Well, we were never sure if they were monks or trees, you know.
It's an easy mistake to make.
It is, yeah.
I've been investigating the giant monks of Pembrokeshire, and I've made a short little feature film for you. So, sit back and enjoy the giant monks of Pembrokeshire. Celtic mythology is awash with stories of giants towering over the landscape, some as big as double-decker buses, some bigger than double-decker buses, most of them round about the same size as a double-decker bus. But there's more and more evidence to suggest that some of these giants were in fact monks. I went in search of the giant monks of Pembrokeshire, where I spoke to locals like this one who told me if they'd seen a monk anywhere.
I have.
Well, frankly, I'm not surprised if they've seen them, because they must be bloody massive. Here in St. David's, monks have been part of the city's rich history for over 1,000 years. And monks come in all shapes and sizes. And it's said that some of the monks under the tutorage of St. David himself were indeed giant. In fact, depending on who you talk to, some experts believe that the bishop's palace was destroyed not by Henry VIII, but by giant monks. I spoke to one expert who explained this in more detail. So are you saying that the evidence was destroyed by Henry VIII in a bid to cover up the existence of the giant monks? But you'll agree that either way, there's no real evidence as to what actually happened to the bishop's palace. Professor, thank you. I visited an archaeological dig led by the go-to guy when it comes to giant monks in North Pembrokeshire, Professor Jim Kitt.
All right, mate.
So Jim, I hear you're the go-to guy when it comes to looking for giant monks in Pembrokeshire.
You're not wrong, mate.
So what first got you into monk spotting?
Well, you see, mate, when I was a young lad, I think I saw a giant monk. And ever since that day, I've been looking for another one. I've been looking for its mate.
And have you found anything today?
You'll be thrilled to know that I've actually found, just today, just this afternoon, I found a giant monk teaspoon.
So that is something you've dug up today, a perfectly preserved monk teaspoon.
That's right, mate. I found this teaspoon just half an hour before you arrived. I've had time to have it polished. Look at that. We've got a polisher team over to the West Wing. Yeah, they did a fantastic job. Look at that.
Wow, that is a... To the untrained eye, this does look like a rather large spoon, but I suppose to a giant monk, it would be but a teaspoon. There you are.
Oh, it's but a teaspoon.
But a teaspoon to a monk.
That's right. It's the same size as my trowel. You wouldn't have a teaspoon the size of a trowel, would you, mate?
Now, do you have any advice for any budding young archaeologists looking to get into finding monks?
I'd advise you, mate, to look up. You might think it's a tree, but it could be a leg.
Now, I'm on a quest myself to find and track down a giant monk in Pembrokeshire. Where would you say would be best to start?
Some say North Pembrokeshire, mate. And that could be the one.
Jim, thank you. So my search for the giant monk has led me here, to what many describe as the highest point in Pembrokeshire. This tree. If I'm going to find a monk anywhere, it's going to be up there. Come on. I can't see one. And so my search for the giant monk comes to an end. And while I didn't find any giant monks out there, I certainly did find a little monk of my own right here. I've been Liam McKenna. Thank you for watching. So there you are. The giant monks of Pembrokeshire.
Maybe one day we will find one, but who knows?
We'll keep looking. We will keep looking. I mean, they can't be hard. They can't be hard to miss, can they? I mean, you know.
Hello?
Is someone on the phone?
Yeah, it's Sebastian.
Oh, Sebastian. Fantastic.
Yeah, there's word from the live stream. He's having to be very quiet because...
Has he had a sighting? Okay, let's head over to
quite
the
make
live
out what
stream
he's
and
saying.
see what
go
we're
over
picking
there.
up. Okay, so we're heading over to the live stream. And
There's nothing there.
can't see
Thank you,
anything there at the
Sebastian.
minute.
Just gonna
So was Sebastian fibbing? Oh wait, what's that coming out of the bushes there?
Look at
Is
that.
that a
There's
monk?
one.
Oh look, there he goes. But
Now, is that
what's he doing?
the lesser spotted shadow monk? And it's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
Just like
It's gone.
that.
We've lost the feed.
Lost the feed.
Well, that was short but sweet. That was definitely a monk. That wasn't a fox,
Yeah,
was it? I mean,
no.
we've had a few false dawns this week.
Yeah.
Where Sebastian, yeah, we had a badger. The other day it was a hedgehog. What next?
Clearly, he has found a monk. How exciting.
There was a monk sat on top of a telegraph post the other day. I was like, are you sure that's a monk, Sebastian? It was a buzzard.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's promising. Promising.
Very promising.
Hopefully, the monk will come out into the open. We'll get a better sight of it. Maybe. Hopefully, we'll get an identification.
Well, it looked to me like the lesser spotted shadow monk.
Okay. Well,
But I'm not sure. I'm not
You're
sure.
gonna put all your eggs in that shadow monk basket.
We have to see if it has the telltale grin.
The
Always
grin,
smiling,
yeah,
always
they're
smiling.
very cheeky characters,
They
aren't
are
they?
indeed.
Despite their reputation as being quite dark and brooding, they're actually
Yeah.
quite cheeky, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're,
they are.
they're mischievous. They are. Yes, yeah, but don't get near them at Halloween. I'll say
No,
that much.
absolutely not.
Now, shall we go see what Rhiannon's up to next?
Oh,
Let's see where she's got to. Rhiannon is over in Trefin, if you've ever heard of it. Lovely little village in West Wales, and has a rich history of monks. So let's see what Rhiannon's up to. Rhiannon,
are you there, Rhiannon?
can she hear us? Again, there is a bit of a delay.
And welcome back to Pembrokeshire and our first stop on tonight's Monkspotting tour. Now, one of the things about Pembrokeshire that it's renowned for, other than its fantastic views, is its astounding quality of light. In Pembrokeshire you get really fantastic sunsets, and actually we're so much further west than London that Pembrokeshire is effectively on its own time zone. The sun actually sets late in here. So much so that when they built the first train from Paddington all the way to Milford, somebody actually had to come with a watch from London to correct all the clocks along the way because it differed so much. It's an incredible little thing about Pembrokeshire. But enough about light, we're here to find out about monks. And the reason we're here in this little lane here is because I've been speaking to the local monk enthusiast, Tom Waits, about where we can find monks, and he told me to come along just here. So we had a little around, come with me. Now we had a look around for your sort of telltale monk signs, things you might expect to see. Now what did we find? But lo and behold, oh, look at this right down here. Yeah, you got that right. That is a bottle of beer, sort of standard bottle of beer that you might expect to find. Now you might be thinking, well, how do I know that this isn't just teenagers? Well, for one thing, we're in the middle of a national park. Teenagers are among the most environmentally conscious people out there. They're not just going to dump some bottles of beer in the national park like that. And number two, look what we found just down here. Yeah, you're seeing things correctly. That is some bread. We've got some bread. So we know for a fact that this is definitely our monk hangout spot right here. We've got some beer, we've got some bread, we've got some medieval walls. What more do you need?
Thank you, Rhiannon.
Thank you. Amazing that they left the bread behind. Normally, monks would eat all of the bread before leaving.
That's true, isn't it? They don't normally leave scraps behind. They're very frugal
Very
monks.
frugal.
So that's interesting behaviour. It would suggest that there was perhaps a surplus of food in the Trefin area.
Maybe.
Fantastic. But now, if you'll forgive me, Polly, we're going to move from beer to bees.
Oh?
Did you see what I did there?
Missing a letter.
We cut off a letter.
Cut off a letter.
Now there's a bit more of a link because you see, obviously the monks, they do like their beer.
They do.
But they also like their bees.
Yes, and they do, of course, like to make wine from honey, which is called mead.
That's very true. That's very true. And the monks of St. David's in particular were world renowned for their beekeeping.
They were indeed.
And just this week, I took a little trip to the St. David's Bee Museum.
Jealous.
One of the top 10 tourist attractions on TripAdvisor. So let's see how I got on. For 1,000 years, bee emporiums such as the one which stood on the site behind me here in St. David's attracted pilgrims and honey lovers alike from all corners of the known world. Yes, it was a non-stop, eon-long honey fest, led of course by the famous monks of St. David's, world renowned for their beekeeping. But one day,
Well, often one of the first questions we hear is, how many times have you been stung?
Bees,
The bees
watch out
are
for the
here.
bees. Watch out for the
Beamish, good afternoon. I understand this is the biggest collection of beekeeping paraphernalia on the St. David's Peninsula. Yes, well, if it's not the biggest collection, it's certainly in the top 5. What was it about the monks of St. David's that made their beekeeping so famous? First and foremost, the most important thing about beekeeping that the monks learnt is that above all else, it's about the bees. Yes, they learnt from the master himself, the patron saint of bees, St. Ambrose, who introduced beekeeping to the monks of St. David's. He taught them one of the most vital aspects of beekeeping, not getting stung. That was quite an important one. I imagine at the time that this thinking would have come across as quite radical, revolutionary somewhat. Yes, in many ways, the monks would have actually preferred to have taken the stings as penance for theft of the honey. St. Ambrose introduced lots of rudimentary technical advice and protective equipment in Celtic Britain that it would have been unheard of. Obviously, one of the #1 killers back in Celtic Britain was getting stung quite a lot by bees. Yes, but St. Ambrose came along and he introduced gloves, protective mesh wear for the upper body, goggles for the eyes. It would have looked the kind of equipment you'd expect to come from another planet in those days. You could say it was a case of divine intervention. In many ways, it was more a technological intervention. No, to a heavenly intervention, yes. Clearly, the Lord did have a plan in bringing more pilgrims to the holy site of St. David's, albeit to sample the wondrous honey that they were producing at the time. Of course, the Pope at the time, Pope Calixtus VII, he got wind of this. He tried the honey and he expressed that it was indeed divine and classed the city of St. David's as one of the holiest sites in the world, primarily because of the honey. And so was St. David in favour of the beekeeping? What was his personal view? He said he wasn't against keeping bees. No, he had his own hive. They protected the monastery in many ways. Of course, he didn't use any protective equipment himself, didn't need to. He had protection from the Lord Almighty. There is one story, one occasion, where St. David's bees, they were friendly bees, and they got into a little scrap with a rival gang of bees, much angrier bees. In fact, and St. David came along in the woods and he caught himself in the middle of this battle of the bees, and he took on many a sting. He didn't feel any of the pain, but the bees, so he had lots of bees just sort of with their organs hanging out from his torso, and he managed to pluck each individual bee's stinger from his body and reaffix it painstakingly so back to the bee. Bless the bee, and the bees went off on their merry way. And as a token of their gratitude, those bees promised to bestow the city of St David's with their honey forevermore. Now, seeing as we're inside the St David's Beekeeping Museum, I don't suppose you'd mind if I have a look around. There's some very old and ancient and delicate artefacts, some things which, to even touch them, could cause great, unfathomable damage. But I realise I'm not going to be able to stop you, am I? No. I'm going to have a look anyway. Now this specimen was found in a peat bog at Ninewells at the turn of the 19th century, and it's believed to be one of the biggest bees ever discovered in Great Britain. Now this is a prized possession of the museum. It has been stuffed. This has been specially cryogenically frozen for almost 200 years, and I've got to say I'm very lucky to be able to hold it right now. Can you imagine a whole army, a swarm of bees flying towards you? I mean, now visors just like this one would have been used in the early days of beekeeping. Obviously, a very rudimentary, primitive form of protective equipment, but it would have been very effective in keeping the monks safe from bee stings back in those early days. Now, obviously, it does resemble that of a modern day tennis racket, and in many ways it served a very similar purpose, that in batting away bees rather than tennis balls. But obviously these days the holes would have to be a lot smaller, as modern day bees would be able to get through to my face quite easily. You're not getting in that easy, mister. Not for the lack of trying.
There's a lot of amen extreme using a chainsaw to open fallen trees.
And what we've got here is a jar of 1500-year-old honey. This is reportedly from St David's personal collection. It was buried with his bones, and it was saved during a Viking raid in the mid-10th century. Now, we know it's St David's because this is actually one of the few surviving examples of St David's handwriting. And as you can see at the bottom of the jar there, it actually says Dewi Sant, which means St David in Welsh. And as we know now, as scholars will tell us, St David often referred to himself when he was alive as Saint David. And you know what? For 1500-year-old honey, it's not that bad.
Watch out for the...
I can't believe you ate that honey.
You know what? It's got to be said. For 1500-year-old honey, it really was surprisingly delicious.
Not bitter or...
I mean, yeah, like it had lost most of its sweetness.
Yeah.
And was incredibly bitter, but there was something about it. It just tasted, for want of a better word, divine.
Of course.
But in all seriousness, I wasn't supposed to be eating that honey. I wasn't even supposed to open the jar. I had to get myself in quite a lot of trouble over that.
We have some questions through.
Oh, we've got some questions coming
We
through.
do
Oh,
indeed.
fantastic.
Let's have a look.
Fantastic.
So-
Lovely to hear from our viewers.
We have Michelle from Liverpool.
Michelle, lovely
Yep.
to have you on board. Fire
and
away,
she
Michelle.
says that she found a monk in her cereal box.
In her cereal box?
Yeah.
a little micro monk?
Well, it
perhaps,
must have
was
been a
it?
micro monk. She has not sent a photo. I can only assume it escaped.
It could have escaped, or it could be part. I have heard that some of the cereal companies, like Kellogg's, have been promoting monk conservation.
Yeah.
And for every 2 boxes you buy, you can send off. You cut out a bit on the back of the cereal box,
Get a
and
free
you can
monk.
redeem a free monk
Absolutely.
to keep in your garden.
And we've got David from Manchester.
David
now,
from Manchester,
He
lovely.
says, "What's the deal with monks anyway?"
Oh.
Right. Well.
That's not really in keeping with the spirit of monk spotting,
but don't
David, is it?
Leave it alone, Liam. Don't have to
what's the
bite.
deal with monk? I mean, have you not been keeping abreast of the development in the monk spotting world, David? Have you not like seen the graphs, the
don't
rapid
give him
decline
don't
of monks
give him
over the last
time of
500
day.
years?
Right.
Is he
Moving
just
on.
is he a Protestant
Moving
reformist?
on.
Okay.
Sarah from Essex.
Sarah from Essex.
Hello, Sarah.
Lovely to have you, Sarah.
She says, why do black-capped monks travel in threes?
Oh, good question. Good question, Sarah.
Get your teeth into that, Leah.
Now, there is a reason. There is a reason the black cap monks move in threes, and it's primarily because they've got very poor eyesight.
Terrible eyesight.
Terrible eyesight. They can barely see their own hands in front of their faces, so they have to move in threes because while their eyesight is very poor, their hearing and other senses, their radar senses, like bats, is extraordinary. It's better than a bat's senses. So what they do, they move around in three, sort of triangular formation, and the one up front will be leading, and the other two will be hearing. So the one up front will be shooting out the radar senses. The other two will be hearing for perhaps predators, or they'll be listening out for like peanuts dropping from bird feeders, that kind of thing. Quite
deadly though if you see a trio in the wild.
If you see a trio, incredibly deadly. They have been known to attack humans, and mainly because some of them they don't know. They haven't ever really seen a human before because they've lived their entire lives. I mean, some of these monks are incredibly old, 1,500 years old. So some of them have never really encountered a human. Yeah. So do keep your distance if you see them in the wild. But thank you, Sarah, all the same.
And that is all of the questions for now.
Wonderful stuff. Well, keep your comments and your questions and your sightings coming in. We've got Polly here on the tech all evening, awaiting your messages. So we're going to head over now to our live stream. We're going to see what's happening over there.
Is it the lesser spotted shadow?
Well, let's see if it's going to poke its head out again from that bush.
Look out for that telltale grin. It is.
Let's have a look. Let's see what we've got here.
Right, nothing there.
Can't see anything
Maybe it's
just
left.
yet. It may have moved on. It may have migrated. Wait a minute.
What's that?
There's a bit of activity in the far corner there. Opposite.
It's coming towards the camera.
It's coming towards the camera. Does that mean it's spotted the camera?
Maybe it's spotted Sebastian.
I think you're right about the species identification there, Polly.
Can you see? Its face?
looking in. It's looking into the gorse bush. Oh, I don't know if it does it believe that it's an authentic gorse bush.
Maybe not.
I mean, maybe it can smell the plastic.
Oh.
Well, Sebastian's all right in there for now. He's coming towards the camera.
And look at that.
Oh,
grin.
look at that cheeky grin.
It's a lesser spotted.
That's
fantastic.
a lesser spotted. Wonderful. Look at that. Oh, wow. That is fantastic. What a treat. What a treat.
Of course.
To get one so up close.
Yeah, not a rare monk, the lesser spotted shadow, but
actually one of the most common monks.
One of the most common.
Despite the name.
But they're all rare.
Yeah, it's more called lesser spotted because it doesn't have many spots.
Yes.
On its frock. Fantastic. But we'll be coming back to that live feed very shortly, and hopefully if Sebastian has got it working, we'll have the drone cam helping us get a closer look at that monk.
Now, the lesser spotted does not have many spots. However, what they do have are nose hairs.
Fantastic segue there, Polly. Yes. Now, some of you may be aware that there's been a lot of stories in the news recently about monk nostril hairs, and obviously monk poaching has been a big problem.
Are they medicinal?
That we've had to deal with.
We're not sure.
So what I've been doing, I've been investigating the craze in popularity of monk nostril hairs, and I've made another short little film just to fill you in if you're not up to date with the latest. So this is about monk nostril hairs.
Nostril hairs. For millennia, Homo sapiens have grown hairs protruding from inside their noses. Science is yet to understand why these hairs exist, nor what to do with them, other than remove them from the follicle. But once separated from the follicle, what can you do with the humble nostril hair? Simply let them accumulate in piles? Well, what if I was to tell you that one of these nostril hairs could earn you up to £5 million?
But hold your horses. Don't start pulling out all your nostril hairs yet. If you were to try to sell one of your human nostril hairs on eBay, you would simply be laughed off the internet.
Yet if you replaced that human nostril hair for a monk's, you could stand to make a small fortune. Monk nostril hairs have recently grown in demand. The hairs, usually white or golden in colour, are believed to contain miracle healing properties and are ground up and sold as herbal medicines to treat a range of illnesses. But where in the world is the epicentre of this controversial monk trade, which leaves so many monks without their nostril hairs? That's right, Martyrs Green, Surrey. Now, for various reasons, no one from the Royal Society for the Protection of Monks is legally allowed within 5 miles of the borders of Martyrs Green. But I was able to purchase ground monk nostril hair from a holistic therapy boutique in the village using a false name.
Could probably take this off now. It was me all along. So I've got it. It's just sort of coming in a sort of nondescript Tupperware box. It's quite hard to open. And inside, well, you can see that. It just sort of looks like a sort of used tea bag. There's no real instructions as to what to do with it. I guess I'll just go ahead and just eat it. I suppose if it tasted good, you know, you'd wonder about the health benefits. So wait and see what the results are.
Where did you end up?
I actually ended up in Norfolk. Yeah, I was a woodland area, just outside Lowestoft.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've got to say, I did find the instructions.
Were you meant to eat the whole thing?
I found the instructions. They were in my pocket, and no, you weren't supposed to eat the whole tea bag.
Right.
You were just supposed to pinch a little bit out of the bag, stir it in hot water, and drink that slowly over a period of 3 to 4 hours.
Right, not just eat the whole...
Not just eat the whole thing.
Right, yeah.
Because it contains the same quantity of vitamins and minerals as an entire tub of 3 months worth of multivitamins.
Right, so any side effects then?
The main side effect was that I lost 72 hours of my life. I've no idea how I got to Lowestoft. And to be honest, I can't really remember how I got back. But I did, I made it. I walked, I think. Maybe.
And on the topic of walking, let's get back to our roving reporter, Rhiannon.
Let's see what Rhiannon's up to. Rhiannon!
Oh, it's quite windy there today, Rhiannon.
Quite windy. Can she hear us?
Can we hear her? That's the question.
That's the question. Thank you, Rhiannon.
Thank you for that.
I couldn't make out in exactly what she was going on about.
Yeah.
But it was very vivid. Certainly was. Certainly told a grand story of the history of the monks and that mill.
Oh, now, Liam, looks like we have had some more questions and comments over on the social media.
Fantastic. Yeah. Fire away.
So John from Peterborough says that he once helped a monk over a fence.
Oh, did he?
Where was the monk going?
Where was the monk going? Were you helping it into or out of its territory?
Yeah. Risky business.
One thing that pops into my mind there, John, is do be careful when handling monks.
Yeah.
Because they're not used to close contact with humankind, and they are very vulnerable creatures. A lot of them are very old. You know, some of them have already died 1,000 years ago. So you don't want to kill them off. You know, some of them made it through the plague. You know, but they could also pass on diseases to you. So
you could both get ill.
So just do be careful.
Now, Laura from Cardiff.
Hello, Laura.
Hello, Laura. Lovely that you have joined us this evening. She says fake news.
What fake? What's fake?
What's fake?
What's fake, Laura? Just that. Is that all she said?
That's
fake
all
news.
She said, yeah.
Fake news. Well, I don't know what she's. I mean, like what monks? I mean, monks aren't. They're objectively not fake news.
Fake news. That's all she said.
You know, just read a history book, Laura. You know, just look at the history. I mean, you know, 150 years of spotting monks. I mean, you know, how's that fake?
Never mind. Right. Her opinion.
Next.
So, Paul from Mansfield.
Ah, yes, Paul, one of our regulars.
He said that he has monks all over his local park.
Yes, I'm not surprised, Paul. I'm not surprised. Those monks, they're very playful, and if you're in the part of Mansfield I'm thinking of, that'll be where the playground was built on top of an old priory. And so the monks will be hanging out in that area. Just naturally, they'll be drawn magnetically to the playground. So I imagine they'll be taking advantage of the swings and the seesaw.
My phone is going.
They do love counterweighting each other. Yes, they do.
Excellent. We'll be right.
Thank you, Paul, for that.
Liam Sebastian's on the phone.
Sebastian's on the phone. Yes.
He says that they have some action over at the live.
Oh, wonderful! We've got some something to show you over on the live feed. Let's have a look. Let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, what can we see there? There's that cheeky monk again.
Yes.
The cheeky shadow monk there, the lesser spotted.
Oh.
Sebastian's got the drone cam up and running. Okay, so hopefully we're going to get a good close-up of this monk. Now let's see. Let's see if Sebastian can get a control. Sebastian's got the remote there. He's going to be. There we go. It's off. The drone is off.
Now, will the drone be able to release the micro camera? That's the
question. The key. Now, hopefully, what we're going to show you now, it's released the micro googly eye cam, and that's going to head up the monk's nostril. And what Sebastian's going to show us now, I believe, we're going to have a good look at these highly sought after nostril hairs.
Look at that, there is a golden
nostril hair. Now that nostril hair, one of those, that could fetch you up to £5 million. In the right hands.
The camera has been
have we
sniffed?
It looks like we've just been sniffed up into the monk's head. Where are we?
That's not
Sebastian, you might want to control this camera. We're heading into the monk's brain. We're now inside a monk's brain.
Well, look, isn't that beautiful?
This is fantastic. Look at that. Look at this vast expanse. 1,500 years of knowledge. A Bible, of course, word for word, I'm sure. Fantastic. Look at this. This monk's brain is highly active. His favourite brands of bread. There we go. Crumpets. Gluten-free bread. I'm surprised. But it is the 21st century.
Everything I know about bees, of course.
I mean, this is a monk in the St David's area. You'd expect it to be well versed in beekeeping. Fantastic, wonderful stuff. This is. I don't think we've ever been inside a monk's brain.
Beekeeping.
Rudimentary beekeeping outfit there. My favourite Bible quotes. This has got to be a world first.
Wine.
This has to be of course, wine. They love wine, don't they, monks?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we'll see how Sebastian gets on. Obviously, we could be could be in that monk's brain for a while if you can't find a way out. I mean, these monks, they are a wealth of knowledge.
I should tell him.
And power. Yes, tell him to get out of that brain though, because
Hello. You're gonna have to find a way.
Yeah. Okay.
Get out of that monk's brain.
Well, I mean, I hope you've enjoyed that as much as we have, because I certainly wasn't expecting to end up seeing the inside of a monk's brain today. So let's
down the nose. Okay. Right.
Let's head back over to Rhiannon, shall we? Yeah. See what Rhiannon's where Rhiannon's made it to. Last she was at the old mill in Trefin, and let's see where she's got to now.
Hello, Rhiannon. Are you with us?
Can she hear us?
Now, back here in Pembrokeshire, one of the most popular spots for a bit of monk spotting is actually this stone circle just behind me. Now, it's very popular with monks, obviously. Strong sense of spirituality just here, hardly surprising. And this stone circle is, in fact, over 5,000 years old. Not built for the local Eisteddfod, as the cameraman keeps insisting. No, it's a very ancient site. So it's just here that we thought would be the ideal place to set up one of our trail cameras. So that's what we've done. We put it out here a couple of days ago, hoping to see a bit of activity. Now, it's mainly been around dusk. We've had quite a few visitors, a few things that are less interesting, some foxes, a couple of badgers, even a big black cat about this big, which we didn't expect. But it wasn't until just last night, just before this show, that we got the good stuff. And that's right, I'm going to show you that now. Here you can see some footage of a monk clad in black robes there, just after dusk, so we've had to put the night vision on, and he's just sort of doing tours of the stone circle. Seems to be looking for something, not quite clear what, maybe some sort of sense of spirituality, maybe some bread or some alcohol, who can tell. But we can see that it doesn't seem to find what it was looking for. After doing a couple of tours of the stone circle, he heads off again into the night. But I mean, what a privilege to be able to see a monk like that just here in this fantastic site.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Remarkable that she actually got footage of a monk in Trefin.
You know, I didn't want to get too hopeful that we were going to spot one, but fantastic that she was out there. We've been out there for months trying to capture a monk just like that, and you know what? This could be our gateway to the sea. It could, because we know that there are aquatic monks in the area, on the coast of Wales. Yeah. And by the looks of it, that monk was trying to communicate with the monks in the sea, by projecting its voice off the stones and sort of using the acoustics to traject into the sea.
Again, similar to a bat. We're seeing lots of similarities.
There's
between
lots
bats
of.
and monks.
You'd be surprised. There aren't that many studies in the scientific field comparing bats to monks, but they do behave in very similar ways.
Lots of crossovers,
including sleeping upside down.
Rhiannon's monk back to our own monk, because it's all too exciting being inside this monk's brain. So let's go back over to the live stream and see what's happening.
Let's see how we're getting on.
Yeah, we're still in there.
Still inside that brain. Remember to water the cabbages. How to make holy water. All these things that a monk knows. How to dig a priest hole in under an hour. I mean, you know,
that is useful.
That's very quick.
Oh,
what's this? A window? A window to what?
A window to the soul.
To the soul.
Oh no.
Or what's this? That looks like the Monk Spotters HQ.
There's the plastic gorse bush.
Plastic gorse bush. Are we seeing?
We're seeing what the monk is seeing.
We are inside the monk, seeing what the monk sees. I don't know how Sebastian has
he's found the eyes.
Has done this. He's found the eyes somewhere in the brain, and
where's this monk going now?
Well, now that's really the question, isn't it?
Because they're normally nocturnal.
They are normally, yes. So what's it looking for? It does seem to be searching for something. This is very interesting. Very peculiar behaviour, I would say.
Oh.
What's it got here? It's got some sort of scroll. What's this?
Blueprints.
Blueprint. Ye Olde Priory.
Ah.
Oh, I wonder if this is the blueprints for its former priory, perhaps a lost priory.
Well, look at that. I did not know monks could do that.
Fantastic. It's now projecting the layout of its old priory, its lost priory. I for one did not know that there was a priory on the Monkspotting HQ grounds. So
Do you recognise that priory?
I you know what? I don't know. This could be a fabled lost priory from well beyond historic records. We've lost.
Oh, it's gone black. That's odd.
We've lost the feed. Oh, what a shame.
I'll get on to Sebastian and see.
You get on to Sebastian and because I would love to know more about this priory. I mean, because this could be a revelation. This could be,
Sebastian?
you know, if we could have an archaeological dig in the Monkspotting field, perhaps we
Sebastian,
could do
talk
a
to me,
live
we were just watching the
a live
monk feed. Where's it
archaeological
gone
dig and find out more about that. Perhaps we
Sebastian?
can use this monk cam inside the brain to maybe find out a little bit more about the priory.
Cut to the next bit.
What have we
Sebastian,
got?
talk to me.
Okay, so Sebastian is telling us.
No, you're not making sense. What
He's
do you
got
mean?
he's got the live feed back up. So let's see let's see where we are.
You're not making
Okay,
any sense, Sebastian.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we've got it back up. We can see where the monk's heading back. Looks like the monk's heading back towards the plastic gorse bush. Oh no! Don't tell me that it's.
What?
Don't tell me it's seen through it. Oh no! Where's it going? It's heading into the gorse bush. It's going after Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Oh.
Tell me what happened. It's gone black again.
It's gone black. I don't know what's happened there.
What's going on,
I
Sebastian?
don't know what's going on. What's happened there? No.
What do you mean there's blood everywhere?
We're getting a repeat there of what.
Should we be...
It's just replaying what was going on in the monk's head just then. Okay, so
Is it showing us the same
we're just seeing the
Just doing a
same.
repeat.
So the monk
Send over the
monk
footage.
heading towards the gorse bush. So
Sebastian,
and
send
the monk
over
and
the
then it goes
footage.
blank.
Send over the footage of what's happened.
Okay. What's all this about?
Calm down.
And there's the monk
Calm down.
next to the gorse bush.
Well,
Okay.
I'm watching it.
Oh.
Sebastian, why was there an explosion?
Oh dear.
Yeah, I realise you said there was...
Looks like the monk has exploded.
Are you okay, Sebastian? What's happened?
Right next to the gorse bush. The gorse bush is
what
fine.
do you mean we killed another monk? No, we can't.
Okay, we're gonna leave the feed there.
No, Sebastian, what you need to do... Delete the footage, turn off the cameras, and come
unfortunately,
back to
it
the
looks like we've lost another monk. I was hoping that this wasn't going to happen for the third time this year, but it seems that we've Sebastian's got a bit of a bad run, shall we say?
Sebastian, collect the fingers.
Okay, well hopefully
and we'll have them attached, okay?
hopefully
We're
Sebastian will be fine.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how's Sebastian doing? We need to move on.
Move on. Yeah.
Okay. We'll just head over to Rhiannon and see how she's doing in Trefin. What a wonderful evening it's been over there.
Wonderful evening. I think
Rhiannon
killed another monk, Liam.
Rhiannon, are you there?
Now that's it from me here in Pembrokeshire for this evening. I hope that throughout the show you've enjoyed seeing some of what this area has to offer in terms of monk spotting. Now, I also hope that this has encouraged you to get out and about. Now, you don't need to come to areas like this. You can have fantastic encounters just on your doorstep, as I hope Liam, Polly and all of our viewers have shown here tonight. But from Pembrokeshire, it's goodbye from me, good night, Nostar, and happy monk spotting.
Rhiannon, thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, she has been a wonderful source of historical backdrop there.
She has indeed.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to do wonders for the local tourist industry in Trefin. Good luck, guys. Well. So as we saw in the last live feed. There, we did seem to have some sort of technical sort of
issue.
Explosion issue with the monk. So what we've got now is live footage from inside the monk, which will give us a little bit more detail as to what what exactly went on.
Yeah, and if you are sensitive to these kind of things, then
look away now, I suppose.
We don't know what this footage...
We don't know what it contains.
No,
but
Sebastian has just sent this
is
through.
what Sebastian has just sent over. So let's have a look. Okay,
so it looks like he was exiting.
So Sebastian was heading out of the nose, but it looks like he went back in for the nostril hair.
He wasn't meant to do that.
He wasn't supposed to do that. We have advised people against taking notes. It looks like he's right. Why has he sent off a dynamite? I mean, the slightest. Oh, God.
So Sebastian put dynamite.
He put
in the nose.
Dynamite in the nose.
Destroyed the mic. Right.
Right. Now I think one of the issues there
we have to stop killing monks.
Is that these cameras.
Protection society.
Yeah. No, I'm well aware, but I mean, in Sebastian's defence, these cameras that we're sending up the nose, they are very, very complicated. And they come with all sorts of different attachments. What I think, even though Sebastian obviously will be reprimanded because he wasn't supposed to be going back, we weren't supposed to be taking the nostril hairs. We've been trying to tell people, do not take those nostril hairs.
Did you tell him how much they're worth?
I did. Well, I mentioned sort of offhand, how much that particular nostril hair would be worth. In the region of £5 million. I didn't say that. Because it's worth £5 million, that he should take that nostril hair. Now, what's happened is those cameras, they're very, very delicate, and the difference between the tweezer that's supposed to come out of the camera to take the nostril hair.
Yeah.
There's a millimetre between the button for the tweezer and the button for the self-destruct mechanism.
We need to address that for the future.
We will look into that.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is an issue for the Royal Society for the protection of monks in terms of protecting monks from getting exploded. That certainly is not in our job description. So, with that in mind, thank you for watching. I do hope this has been an insightful edition of Monkspotting. We'll be back perhaps in the spring with more of the latest in the Monkspotting world. Keep sending in your monk sightings and your comments. We love to hear from our viewers across the UK. And if you have enjoyed watching, well, please consider making a donation to the Monk Spotters Trust Fund.
The details will be on.
Your screen shortly. Now, to play you out, a special world exclusive performance of our latest charity single, Monk Nostril Hairs. So do enjoy. Thank you for watching. I've been Liam McKenna.
I've been Polly Preston,
and we've been Monk Spotters.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. I think we've got over that.
Stop, 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 stop. Stealing those nostril hairs. Leave those monks alone. They're not the miracle healing hairs you've heard so much about. They're not worth anything to you, but they're worth so much to the monks. Just leave the monks alone. Stop, stop.